When I say things like that, people tend to have a very defensive response. And I get where it comes from because they're like, yeah, but this is so materialistic. What about real love? What about if the man you fall in love with is a man who is really poor and has nothing going for him? And my answer to that is, well, he wouldn't be the love of my life. At most, he could be my friend, maybe, but I wouldn't marry him because he can't give me the lifestyle that I'd want to live in. When I think about marriage, I think about, okay, if I'm 30 now, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years' time, 15 years' time? And how can I marry in that direction? Because the origin of marriage is about wealth redistribution. It is about a structure where it is a contract. And you know, how it is with contracts, the person who drafts the contract is the one who benefits more. And patriarchy, men are the ones who are in charge of all of this infrastructure. So it's always going to benefit them. It's about just going for beyond the first guy who gives you a compliment and being like, well, I have to marry him because I've been swept off my feet. It's about understanding that you're deserving of compliments. You're beautiful. Like, men are going to flatter you all the time, but you need to do the picking and you need to make these men audition.
Okay, and I'm with you on that, right? The part that I'm struggling with is the assets part, right? So, are you saying, let's say, for example, we have a gentleman who, let's say, is 25 years old, and it's a heterosexual relationship. You have the woman who has a higher level of education, makes more money than he does, has more assets than he does, but he's a nice guy. And he says he loves her.
He says.
What do you think should happen in that situation? And he wants to marry her. What should she do?
I think she shouldn't marry him. It's going to sound so heartless and cold. I know people are going to be like, this is horrible. What do you mean? She's already got her own assets anyway.
Right.
He just, all she needs is just his love. Like, if I was in that scenario you've just described which I probably am really, I have a lot going for me. I'm successful in my own right. And that's the more reason why I'm always looking for like what's out there, what's bigger. There's always someone who's got more than me. I can learn from him. I can take his assets.
And there you have it.
She is insufferable.
No.
She is insufferable.
Hold on, y'all.
And she just contradicted herself.
Thank you.
She just contradicted herself because she said that men are the ones that drop the contract, so they get more out of marriage than women, which is not true. And then she ended it by saying she wants to date higher because someone will have more than her and she can take from them. If they, I guess, get divorced, she would be the one to be able to take something instead of a man taking something from her.
Ty, it's even
and
more
this is why you always get a prenup.
Hold on, it's even more insidious than that. Earlier in the conversation, she was talking about how the patriarchy makes these men feel like they have to be providers. The patriarchy makes them makes them feel some type of way about not being able to provide. And then at the end of it all, your ass gonna come out here and say, you need to have a man that makes more than you so you can take from him and he can't take from you. You contributed to the very patriarchy that you was just speaking against about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, listen, I don't understand why any woman would ever complain about the patriarchy. The patriarchy is what keeps you safe. The patriarchy is what gives you the soft life. The patriarchy is what saves you from the barbaric nature of humans. You need to see what it looks like when there is no patriarchy. I don't know how many people are really out here touching other soil, but it's different out there. Savagery. Seriously. How can you complain about that? Who said something?
So do you think it's not a possibility to be able to benefit from it, but also still call out the toxic parts about it?
Like, what's toxic about it?
Like we were just talking about how patriarchy can be toxic, how a man who is like doing nice things for his woman, like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey, how the guys were making fun of him and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that it's okay for us to benefit from it, but it's also okay for us to talk about the toxic side of it too when it appears, because I mean, it can have a source of nuance. It doesn't have to just be one place or the other. So yeah, she can. What she said, I think, is still valid. It just so happens that she does benefit from it, and she is taking advantage of the benefits of it. I mean, I don't know.
Actually, she's not benefiting from it. She's heartbroken from previous relationship, cheated on. She's insufferable.
How do you know that? You know that?
She's displaying it. She's displaying it. Her lack of trust.
She does give an aura of her. just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Are we judging her?
Absolutely.
Whatever.
What she's
Are
what
we
she's spewing
judging
is
her?
actually toxic.
What's toxic about what she said? We don't know that girl. We don't know if she even straight. Shit, she could be.
That's all we can do is judge her.
I
off
told
what
Sweeney.
she
I
stated,
told
though.
Sweeney earlier today. I said, what if these women are going out here to get their own independence? They're pushing themselves as hard as they can to get to a certain socioeconomic status so they can justify demanding a man be up here. So because if you're down here, then the man you get or demand for will be either average or below. But if you push yourself to be above average, now you can try to leverage or demand a man to either meet you there or exceed that. That way you don't have to feel bad for asking for a man that is high earning. And Sweeney didn't agree with me. And she just made a case.
Is that problematic though?
I don't agree with you either. I think that
Let me tell you why it's problematic. Because the women who typically do that don't typically do correct math.
what?
There's already an issue where most of these women flock into the top 15 to 20%. So now you end up sharing man when you start to do that. Or there's no men left. Now you have these quotes, where are all the good men? You just success your way out of it. You get what I'm saying?
So
You don't get it? God damn.
I get it, but I think you're damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Because y'all talk smack about people who want food stamps, the women who can't make money. You talk just as much smack about them. But I do agree, like what this young lady said, I do not agree with. Like she just went somewhere. I don't know where she went. Okay. That I don't agree with that. But what I wanted to speak on Sweeney, I don't think that that's the reason why women go get education and all that kind of stuff. I think they do it to put themselves in a better place. Think about it like this. If a person, not necessarily me, I'm just using me. If a person is in a certain somewhere economically, right, or a certain class, who she chooses as a mate could be a liability or it can be an asset, right? Nobody's going to go through schooling, work really hard for them to choose the wrong mate who's going to bring them right back down. Okay. You're going to want to choose somebody who at least, even if he doesn't make as much money as you, he's in the same class as you, right? He's ambitious just like you. You can work with him, even if he's not there anymore. Because think about it like this. It's like you hustling, right? You got a business, you're a business guy and you're hustling. And then you choose a business partner who's not great at business, who's going to bring you right back down. That's just not a smart move, right? You can love somebody like you can love them on. That doesn't mean they're a great partner for you. And maybe men don't look at it in a financial aspect. Maybe you look at it in something else. You wouldn't bring a woman on if she's not good cleaning, cooking, she's nasty. You wouldn't bring her on because you may think those are not things that I want for my wife, right? So men don't think about it in money, but you also are picky about your mate. Women are picky about different things, right? Not all of them, but some of them.
But you don't see men going out there and saying, man, I know how to cook and clean there, but so it's so hard for me to find a woman that can cook and clean or take care of children. That's not how, like you have.
I agree that women should just keep their mouths closed, right? Like I don't think
you
should down people in the process. I don't think you should down people in the process. Whatever you want for yourself, I think that you should want for yourself, and you should
like it when her mouth's open.
other people for what it is that you want, right?
No, Shan, you're missing it. So the thing is that you're saying that, oh man, what if I chose a man, he's an asset versus a liability. Well, then it proves Bruiser's point where he says that you earn yourself out the game. Well, because hold on, wait. Because men find women that compliment them. She don't have to do the same thing that I do for me to see her as an asset. But women would say, I need him to have exactly what I have, because if he doesn't have what I have, then he's not an asset. That's why he needs to have equal to or more than. No man goes out. Hold on, wait. No man goes out and says, man, I make $250,000 a year. Man, God damn it. That woman only makes $50,000 a year. She's a liability to me.